Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and today we are going to talk about crowdfunding. Something I rarely talk about on this channel unless it has something to do with somebody I am maybe interviewing or having on to talk about their personal crowdfunding project. But I rarely talk about the difference in platforms, and I do know that there is a weird ideological divide between Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I personally have no issue using either. I think both have their own perks, both have their own different set of rules, terms of services, right? But as far as a consumer, I don't have an issue with either. Most I have backed is on Kickstarter. I think that platform is a little bit better as far as a user experience, but I don't have a problem using either. I think they both are well done and they both get their point across. They're crowdfunding platforms. And specifically what we're going to talk about today has more to do with comics, but of course it does, right? No, but of course there is other things that are crowdfunded upon here, right? We just had Liana K on not that long ago. She is having a game on there. There is electronics. There is everything you could possibly think of and more. Yeah, we're going to talk about gatekeeping. Or not really. Not really at all. But there is some changes to Indiegogo that people are a little worried about. Understandably so. Seems sometimes when these changes start to appear, when platforms start to censor and really look into who they are platforming. And they have the right to. First off, it's not really censorship, right? I guess I just use that word because I don't know of a better one to use in that sentence. But when it's your platform and someone doesn't abide by your rules or your terms of services, you have that right. That is the unfortunate truth. Just like with this platform here. And I think yesterday I was listening to an interview with Ron Mars that Perch did, right? And he did a really good explanation, and I kind of love it. Basically, talking about my platform here. It is my garden, right? And I can cultivate it any way I see fit. So if I need to pluck some weeds, or aka block some people, that is what I have the right to do. Now, I don't. I do for a few reasons. If you are stalking, harassing, or generally being extremely rude to guests that I have on, or being disrespectful to the people that I platform, yes, I will either, usually the first time, just delete a comment, right? If it's an Ask the Expert or something, I'll delete it. No harm, no foul. I don't want anyone to have their feelings hurt because they came on my platform. I also will block when it comes to repeated crude sexual innuendos, or basically, if you're only coming here because you want to look at the picture, then screenshot it and leave, right? If you're not here, that sounds mean. But if you're not here to see what I have to say, then that's pretty silly, in my opinion. So cultivating your personal garden, I think, is the best way to put it. And Ron Mars said that yesterday. Now, when it comes to Indiegogo, they have that same right. But I actually see this one as kind of a Nontroversy, right? What they are doing is, and I will show you an article from The Verge, we are seeing them switching over to look more into the crowdfunding campaigns that they specifically are platforming. Now, again, it is more, from my understanding, and I have went through everything that's been, made public about this. And they're also partnering with GoFundMe. I expect Kickstarter will be next. But right now, it looks like they are trying to protect their consumers. So a lot of times when it comes to crowdfunding, and I am going to use specific examples about comics, but there are a lot more examples out there. Much more millions of dollars lost when it comes to electronics. That is a huge one. And gaming is a huge one. I think Zoe Quinn, I want to say, took quite a bit of money from people. And I don't believe it was on Indiegogo, but it may have been. I'm not sure. So there are issues, though, when it comes to comics. Now, you're not going to really have to worry about this if you are a comic book creator, unless you're trying to fraudulently take money from people, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be and should be doing for your customers. You should be updating them monthly. You should not wait 6 months to update them, even if half of the people do not read it. They gave you their money. You owe them the respect of 3 to 4 lines every single month to tell people where the project is at. And then, of course, other things like late projects. There are projects that are years late. There are projects that haven't even began to be drawn and they are due. There are projects that will probably never be fulfilled. Now, that is a very rare case. You don't see that actually a lot. But there was cases a while back when it came to like Red Rooster. And I cannot remember the man, Brightweiser, maybe was his last name. He did a campaign for it. It was super, super late. And not only that, but he got an actual like deal with Walmart. And the people at Walmart received their books before any of the original people that gave him the money in order to do that deal. Like that is fraudulent at its finest. And it's actually, maybe you wouldn't look at it as fraudulent, fine, but it's morally wrong. Like those people gave you your start and yet you kind of just kicked them behind you. There was also issues with multiple campaigns, and I do think they are keeping a closer look on that. And of course, I said late campaigns. There was the disaster not too long ago when it came to stealing Solo. If you remember, it was basically they were promised a comic book. They printed it in or with a magazine company. So your address was clear on the back. It was a, lackluster product, not even talking about the story or the art. And that was, again, very similar in quality to nothing very good. And then on top of it, the person doing that campaign, I guess you would call it, Jeff Hicks had to use 2 different accounts to then again fraudulently have people avoid seeing his first campaign, right? So there are issues within the comics community of people that really want these projects, people that really want to back these people that they love, right? With big platforms, they want to help them achieve their dreams and then get taken advantage of. And Indiegogo is doing everything it can to kind of help those people. There are people that deliver on time every single time. I was shocked. I backed Painkiller Jane on November 3rd. I got the digital rewards for that on November 21st. Yeah, 18 days. 18 days it took. Another really good one that has been updating and keeping everything great is his first name's Trevor. I had him on the channel before. He does the Helix projects, the Area 51. Now that's not fulfilled yet, but he's really good about keeping you updated. He's really good about basically telling you what is going on, when it is going on, when it is going to printing. Absolutely does a fantastic job. There is a Kickstarter that we'll be talking about on Tuesday that I wouldn't back it. I wouldn't tell you about it if I didn't think 100% with my platform that I could trust that person. And that is Drew from Comics Elite. Make sure you're here. Totally not a shameless plug. Not even a little bit. But yes, this is a good thing. This is going to help people, the consumer. And it's really not going to affect comics. Like, there's no way they're going to kick people off the platform. The big ones from Comicsgate, there's just not going to happen, nor should it. Nor should it. No, if you're trying to get rid of books, you're probably the bad guy. Just saying. Just putting it out there. But people like Ethan and Richard C. Meyer, they make them a lot of money. Even if I don't agree with them a lot of the times, they still deserve to have their books put out there. That should always be the goal, is to have those projects finished in a good amount in time, Like, I would say there, one, maybe two of those people that I mentioned are a little bit late or a lot late or quite a bit late. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to. Doesn't mean they're going to be gatekept either. They make money for the platform, and as long as they're not going to, be crooks, they're fine. So this is really a non-controversy, right? But it is nice to see that both Indiegogo and GoFundMe, which I've noticed that GoFundMe is a little gatekeepy sometimes. Maybe it's just me. Both of them are trying to look out for the consumer, and I think this is a smart move. And I think that they're also implementing this thing where, so say you basically raised funds on Indiegogo. Whoever's in this crowdfunding trust alliance, if you never fulfilled on that and you try to go to Kickstarter, you cannot, because you have already screwed people out of money. And that's nobody's fault but your own, right? So in that situation, I don't see that as an issue. You're saving people the headache of going through and getting taken for tens of hundreds of dollars, depending on the size of the platform. And I do know that after 3 years, if you have, everything on time and you get like that, where the little hands at the blue check mark thing. So you're part of that alliance. And that's good, because then those are trusted people that you can back and not have to worry about as much. Every time I back something, I think maybe the last one I backed on Indiegogo would have been Plot Holes, which I knew I could trust Sean Gordon Murphy. Every single person that I personally back, I know I can trust. Oh, maybe it was Leprosky. I don't remember. Sometimes I look at the sites to see if there's anything that I missed out on. But a lot of times I know who I want to back because I trust them. I mean, you don't trust anybody, but you trust them as much as you can to know that they are professional and they will do what they say. And 99% of the time they are. You just have those cases like Jeff Hicks where you're going to get screwed, right? So anyways, I don't think this is a bad thing. Let me know, of course, what you guys think, though, in the comments below. Now, I will say before I go, if it goes any further and you start seeing them going and looking at ideological stuff, then this will be a whole new conversation. But as of right now, just protecting the consumer, yep, I'm okay with it. Sounds like it should have been done a while ago. Better late than never, though. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
I'm more than just a picture. I'm more than just a picture. I'm a dog.